the Commonwealth of Virginia cheers home its native son. They bang hard and rewind to the bottom. Kansas goes to the outside and hits the wall. And Denny Hamlin takes the lead.
Had to bully the way through there towards the end, but everybody was just running into everyone.
Third in a row at Martinsville, Denny Hamlin wins.
For the fifth time in his career at the Martinsville Speedway, across the line comes Denny Hamlin.
In his home state, Denny Hamlin has definitely been one of the best at Martinsville. 5 wins and 21 starts. 16 top 10 finishes. He has an average finish of 9.5 at this racetrack. It has definitely suited his driving skills. Marty.
Rick, no doubt he knows how to get it done here. And watching practice right now is Denny Hamlin, along with his other Joe Gibbs Racing teammates. They're all going to sit out about 15 to 20 minutes or so. And that goes to what Steve was talking about earlier, knowing that this track certainly changes a lot. They're going to wait out this early part of practice. But with all 4 teams in a round of 8 here for Joe Gibbs Racing, they know this is one of their best shots to be able to advance to Homestead, Miami, and punch their ticket to the championship. For Denny Hamlin knows, too, that he might have the best shot of all 4 as well.
Yeah, Denny is definitely in a great situation if he doesn't hurt himself. And when I say that, the last 3 races here, he has had race infractions. He had a tire violation back in 2015 in the spring race, 2 speeding penalties in the fall race last year, and then earlier this year, speeding again. Finished 39th. He was involved in an accident from 5th. So Denny Hamlin definitely wanting to make sure that he doesn't hurt himself in his bid to get into the championship for him. The other driver that's spectacular with statistics and the successes that he has had at this racetrack is the 48 of Jimmy Johnson.
So the instant team, Jimmy Johnson pulled out to make a qualifying lap just to show how hard it is to get up to speed. His first lap was a 20:35. Okay, fast time right now is a 19:50. So first lap's about a second, a little bit less than a second off on speed. As he comes around here, this would be really what we would consider, Steve, his first official lap. And it moves up to 3rd place, a 19:63. So that shows you how hard it is to get heat in the tires, get the car moving. It's qualifying here, I think, is one of the most difficult racetracks to qualify on because it is low grip for that first lap. This should be his best lap. He ran a 63. And this lap is a 53.
And earlier you had said 1948 was last year's speeds in this first practice. So we're getting right at that number with a 1953 by Jimmy Johnson.
Yeah, nothing wrong with the racetrack.
Dave.
And of course, spotters play a key role in getting their drivers spots on the track at any point during practice. So for qualifying later this afternoon, Earl Barban is trying to find a 3 to 4 lap hole for Jimmy to run in. And as you guys were talking, you mentioned that first lap not being quite up to speed. Well, what about the guy that's already been on track and is already up to speed, Steve? It's a little difficult to find these places for these cars to run in practice.
Yeah, you have to get just more space because the first lap, they're just off. They're off. They're a second off. The tires have very little air in them. They're cold. The brakes are cold. It takes time to get up to speed. And really, I think drivers work with each other. If you're out there on a race run and you are catching somebody who's getting up to speed on a qualifying lap, just be a little patient. Give them a lap. They're going to drive away from you pretty quickly.
So the 48 back in the garage. A unique garage and infield at Martinsville. Located right along the back stretch. And all of the pits are on the turns and the front stretch. On this half mile. There's the garages along the back stretch. All of the haulers parked inside. The oldest track that NASCAR has been running on since the beginning of time, when NASCAR started racing and it became NASCAR, Martinsville has always been on the schedule. '24 Chase Elliott hugging that pink curb as they continue to acknowledge the Breast Cancer Awareness Month, October. Here at Martinsville, the pink curbs signifying that as Chase Elliott eliminated from the championship contention a week ago. Dave?
And wanting to do very well here, Rick, Jeff knows this is a track that you have to come to enjoy and love like any if you're going to be successful here. So this weekend, he'll actually be running in the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series race as well. Not sure if he would be doing that if he was still in the chase, but to get laps and to get rhythm here, he'll be running the number 71 over by Carlos Contreras on Saturday.
This is a replay.
Bit of smoke. Looks like the left rear tire ribbon, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
So when he first came out on the racetrack, he's only run 8 laps at this point, so just not quite enough clearance on that left rear when they pulled out. Doesn't seem to be smoking now, though.
Yeah, and you just see how, you know, close the back of the car is to the racetrack, how soft the rear springs they run. Really trying to get that car down really, really low. You can. Well, there is no ride height rule, so you can start with the car very, very low, but you also, so you want it to be low because these corners are very flat, and the closer to the ground it is, centrifugal force has less effect on something close to the ground, so you can corner a little bit better. But also, you know, it's always that balance, Jeff, of how much rear spring you want. You can put really soft springs in, and you have a lot of rear grip, but can you make the car change direction in the middle of the corner?
And if it doesn't change directions, it's impossible to pass. So the car's got to turn. It's got to get pointed, but it also has to make a rear grip, enough rear grip, and that's always the difficult balance here.
Kevin Harvick has now put up the best time in this first practice, 1941. He is fastest at Martinsville and in the chase.